Hello there, this is Dr. Natalie Beauchamp. Welcome to our show with Empowering Women in Chiropractic. Thank you so much to ChiroSecure to put on these great shows for us chiropractors and non-chiropractors to share our expertise and share what we are doing in our offices. So today, what I'd like to talk about is how you can have your own chiropractic lifestyle book in your practice and how you can leverage this book to really educate your patients. So let's get started. So your own chiropractic book, I think it's important that we understand why we would like to do this. So we're going to cover that, and I'm going to show you how in a month you can pull from content that you already have, and also how you can leverage that in your daily encounter with your patient when it comes to education, conversion, and retention as well. So, why we should have a health book for our patient? Well, I don't know about you, but I've been in practice for 25 years and I get a little bit tired of repeating myself when it comes to educating my patient, not just on chiropractic. And don't get me wrong, I'm still in love with chiropractic and what it does, but it's the repeating aspect that I think most of us might be a little bit tired of. So, I'm always trying to figure out what tools I can use to make it easier for people to consume the information and for me to deliver it in a more efficient way. So, what it does, it really helps to strengthen our brand. It makes us, not that we need this to be more credible, but in the eye of the patient potentially, and potential new patient as well. And it makes our clinic to be the go-to place clinic in our community. And lastly, it also helps to put back ownership in the patient's hands in terms of their results. Meaning, doc, I'm not getting any better. Well, have you done what I'm suggesting in the book when it comes to, their pillow, their bed, their posture exercise, their ergonomic, setup at home and so forth. So it's great, again, to put ownership back. So in terms of how to pull the content together, the longer you've been in practice, the more content you probably have. So it's just a matter of literally pulling everything together. So first, I think it's important that you figure out what you want your patient to learn about. Now, we all have different types or style of practice. Some are more functional medicine practitioners, some are adjustment exclusively chiropractic. So it's important that we understand what we want to educate our patients on. Some of us will focus more on spinal health and hygiene. Some of us will focus more on the subluxations, the impact on the nervous system. Some of us also, like I've mentioned, will try to really support our patient with adjunct things that they can do at home. What should they be eating? They're coming in, they're in pain, they're inflamed. What can they be doing at home when it comes to food and nutrition? And even if, as a practitioner, this is not your area of expertise, we want to give them some basic tools that they can use and follow when they are at home, as well as some supplementation. And even though you might not be a practitioner who sells supplement in their practice, patients they're looking to other practitioners for answer. They're looking at the grocery store for supplements. So to me, it's just, I'd rather that they have the proper information and suggestions of high quality supplementation. So that's the first step, is to say, okay, in my office, my process, my patient journey, what do I want my patients to know? And I guess another way to look at it is ask yourself, what are you repeating yourself daily, answering questions about this, that, and the other thing? There's a theme that is often present. Secondly, is then to pull the content together. So clinic handouts, it could be website content, it could be blog posts that you've done in the past, it could be educational video. Everybody is, fairly active on social media now. So what have you been posting that could be reused for content, even some staff educational training. I know that when there's a new team member that joins, I know what I want them to understand about chiropractic from different sources, things that I've put together, things that are coming from other chiropractors that are more, in the educational realm. So you can pull from all of those resources. And then thirdly, to get a team member to do this for you. So I remember, and I've done this a few times now, using Google Drive is very easy, and it's a great place for you to gather the information. So it's kind of a brain dump of everything that you have from blog posts, as I mentioned, from anything. Create not just one Google document, but different topics. So this way you can start to flush out what you want the education to be. You can start organize your thoughts. You can organize in categories. And once you have a better idea of what you have, then it's all about creating the information that you don't necessarily have. Now, I know that I might have written 3 books, but I am actually not a good writer. So for me, picking up my cell phone and narrating what is in my head has been a godsend, to be honest. So I'm recording it as an audio. I have a few people on my team that love writing. They're good at it, and they love writing about health and chiropractic. So I'm leveraging them to get started. I am pretty decent at editing. So once there is, words on paper, it's a lot less intimidating for me to do that. Now, you may love writing. You may want to start yourself and go back and forth. But I know my strengths. And for me, using audio has been really, really good, because after the text is started, I can edit and I can say, no, that's not exactly what I meant, and so forth. And then the chapters are organized, and now it's super easy to find a platform to format your book. So backtracking a little bit, I have had 2 previously published book by a publishing company, one in Canada and one in the States. And for me to find, especially the second book, which is Hack Your Health Habit, and it's a brick. And the publisher, the publisher had said, Natalie, it's way too big. But I was bent on having everything lifestyle related with this book. And I tell you, when I was looking for a publisher, it was like 40 pages long book proposal. The whole book proposal aspect was almost more painful. And actually, it was more painful than writing the book. So what I'm giving you right now is a way to, being self-published, being still an author. And the goal is not to become Amazon bestseller or a New York Times bestselling author. This is a tool for you to use in your office so you can leverage your knowledge and share it more efficiently with your patient. Because we want it or not, a book is still good. It's still a great tool. People are still buying books. I know that I constantly purchase books. Sure, sometime I'll buy it on Kindle, but there is something about holding a book in your hand for a patient, or being handed a book by your doctor and say, here's some support for you as we progress through your chiropractic care. And like I said, if some of you are really involved in functional medicine, well, at least you're giving them the basis, and then they'll know what else you offer in your practice. And then if you're strictly adjustment based, well, at least you'll give them stuff that they can do at home. Because as I mentioned, people will go somewhere else to get that information. And, not that we don't want to refer to other practitioner when it comes to nutrition and so forth. I know I do. I don't have time, and neither do I have the interest of doing that with patients. But at least giving them some base, and it makes us look good in the eyes of the patient that we're really giving them more value. So finding those platform of formatting your book has become super easy. Again, you don't necessarily have to do that. You can hire a virtual assistant. Maybe you already have someone on your team that technologically savvy enough to do this. So, again, you don't have to necessarily do it yourself. And then voila, you have a book. So, like I said, you probably have a lot of content that you've already created. So, it's a matter of pulling it together, thinking about your patient's journey, thinking about what you want them to learn in your office, because at the end of the day, the more you support them, the better results they are going to be, because stressors are so high in life these days that sometimes it really need to be addressed when it comes to lifestyle. So now let's talk about how myself, I've been leveraging my book for patient education, conversion, and retention. And just again, to put things in perspective, I did publish 3 books. The first 2 were with publisher. This one that I'm talking about that I've done is called Fired Up and Feeling Great. And it's this cute little book with all the information that my patients need. And now I'm integrating that in my care plan to be able to walk the patient. So food for thoughts here in terms of education. Where in the process will you be giving your book? So for me, I'm giving the book on the 3rd visit, actually I'm lying, 4th visit in the office when people sign on to, sign on or are committed to be under chiropractic care. As I mentioned, also, it really helps to put the responsibility back to the patient to do the right things to support their health. Also, it's a good way to leverage potentially email marketing that you already are doing. I know that a lot of my educational process in past years has been delivered through campaigns that I email to patients, especially when they have area of interest health-wise. So I'm leveraging this with the book now to have those 2 things being a little bit more synchronized. For some of you that have SMS system to stay in communication with your patient, it's a great way to stay in contact with them and text them little tidbits of information, especially with things that we know people have questions on which bed they should buy. We know people want to know what pillows they should be sleeping on. So why not leverage your book, what's in the book, and the fact that people have the book to drive them to products, to video that you've recorded. So, I mean, the sky's the limit how you can integrate that into your office. I'm personally still playing with all of this, but I tell you, it's fun because now I'm excited. Patients are excited that I've written another book and they're super excited that they have a copy of the book. It makes conversation way more exciting in the office as well because it's new, it's fresh, it's exciting, and patients are really loving it. And as I mentioned, for the other products and services that you have in the clinic, because it happens sometimes that patients don't even know what other services you have. I remember a few years ago, we do orthotics in the office, and long-standing patient came and was like, "Oh, Natalie, I didn't realize you had orthotics in your office." And yet there's a foot and a few pairs of orthotics, but somehow he hadn't seen it. So this way, again, a great way to make people aware, your patient aware of what you have. In terms of conversion, I think education is kind of the key piece in terms of conversion. But let's face it, the better our patients understand what we do and what we can do for them, the better the conversion is going to be. If there's one thing that I've learned in 25 years, communications are so crucial. And now, anytime that I sense an hesitation from a patient at any time in their care, I don't brush it off. I address it. And it's like I'm noticing or I'm sensing that you have concern about, could it be the many times they need to come in or whatever. Addressing that at the forefront is so important. Now, another thing that I did for that book is I went quite deep in the frequently asked questions. And I have to say that throughout the years, it seemed the frequently asked questions have completely changed. Now it's YouTube video of people that are not chiropractor adjusting or cracking other people's neck, that kind of stuff. And people are coming in with those videos in their heads and kind of being scared of what is going to be done. So think again of the frequently asked question, and then you can come up with your own as well. And then in terms of retention, as I mentioned, it really helps to deliver even greater value to our patient. It helps to build stronger rapport and even relationship, because then your table talk discussion can be, chiropractically more focused, or lifestyle more focused. And people really appreciate that you are looking at their entire life, because some with what is going on in the world right now, depending on which country you're chiming in from, there's the traditional model of medicine has also very much changed, and a lot more telemedicine, and patients are not even getting their physical examination done by touch by a practitioner. So just the fact that we're hands-on, we're there for them, we're listening to them is huge. As I also mentioned, patient will go to other practitioners if you're not filling the need. And it's no longer just competing with the other chiropractors in your city. Now it's the trainers, it's the nutritionists, it's the other kind of physical therapy modalities that you have in your community. So the more people can get from you, I believe that the greater they're going to be they're going to be more thankful, but the greater are the chances that they will stay with you. As I mentioned, patient will buy those vitamins somewhere else, and probably at a lower cost, but also at a lower quality, and we don't want that. Lastly, it really helps to make the patient feel like your place is the go-to place when it comes to health. So as I mentioned, this is fun, this is exciting, especially for some of you that might be I won't say bored in practice, but need a little bit of excitement. Think about doing this, because you probably have all the steps in play. It's just you never really thought of putting it in a book that you can hand out to your patient, and then you can make it part of your process. We're having fun with this, with some t-shirts, some swag, some mugs, some coasters, some hats. Why not make it fun? And I know that I picked the title Fired Up and Feeling Great. And now the conversation is, hey, John, how are you? It's just, hey, John, are you fired up and feeling great? So, you can play with this and have fun, and it makes your table talk a lot more interesting. So if you need help, I decided that I'm going to share what I've done with other practitioners. So it just let me know if you need any help in putting this together. Either you do it yourself, or you can leverage what I have done, because I went to great length to pull the information that was relevant to me. There's a chapter that tells my story as well. So to do it for another chiropractor, obviously we would do their own story. So feel free to book a call with me if you have any questions, and don't think that it is as hard as you think. I myself was able to pull it together pretty fast, and I think especially if it's a clinic that you potentially have different practitioners and different services, you can pull the information for them as well. So that's hopefully that got you inspired, and that gave you the idea to take that knowledge. Think about it, like all the years of experience that you have with your existing patient, putting it in a book. It's fun, it's exciting, and it's something that you can talk about. So again, if you have any questions, feel free to contact me at Dr. Nally at drnallybeauchamp.com. I'm also quite present on social, and here is my Calendly link as well if you want to hop on a quick call with me. So Thank you so much to ChiroSecure for putting on these a great show. I know it's always awesome to hear what other practitioners are doing in their practice. There's so much for us to still learn and still do. So thank you very much. This was Dr. Natalie Beauchamp.
Join us each week as we bring you the best in business growth, practice management, social media marketing, networking, leadership, and lots more. If it's about women in practice and business, you'll hear it here. We hope you enjoyed this week's Facebook Live event. Please like us on Facebook, comment, and share. We look forward to seeing all of you next week for another episode of Empowering Women in Chiropractic. Now, go ahead and hit the share button and tell your friends and colleagues about the show. Thank you for watching. Have a beautiful day. This has been a ChiroSecure production.